In this video, we're gonna have a look at the 5th generation Cadillac Seville STS, and we're gonna redesign this into something that could be built today. I'm a huge fan of properly proportioned sedans, which today are kind of going away slowly and slowly. What I mean by a properly proportioned sedan, as you can see looking at the Seville right here, this is I believe this specific one right here is a 2002, but they kind of look the same from I think 98 to 2004, around that, and this is the one we're going to focus on in this video. So a properly designed sedan, what exactly does that mean? If we were to sketch this out in a side view, what I mean is that we have the clear 3-box design that we've been talking about here on the channel. So if we were to sketch this out, we have the baseline right here, we have the wheelbase going like this, and if you were to sketch a traditionally proportioned sedan, what we need to do is very simple. We just need to add a couple of boxes here. We have box number 1, then we have box number 2 right here, stretching a little bit further over the rear axle, and then we have box number 3 right here. And from here, you can start to stylize this and turn this into a very simple looking sedan, but it will still look good because we have these proportions that are known throughout the decades to be the typical sedan proportions. And I think that's what Cadillac is doing so well up until today, actually, with the new CT4. For example, the CT5 is gorgeous, and we're actually going to take some inspiration from the CT5 specifically when we redesign this car. But let's have a look a little closer at the Seville right here, and let me show you exactly what it is I like with this design. So looking at this car, I think if we were to just modernize the graphics of this car, I think it would be a really cool looking modern beast of a sedan, and that's kind of the feeling that I want to go with here in this redesign. We do have the 3 boxes right here, as you can see. Let's sketch on the rear view. This is the one we're going to focus on. We have a clear boot or trunk right here, then we have a clear separation of the greenhouse that then goes into the 3rd box, which is the front end. What we need to do here though is just to make all the early 2000 graphics go away. For example, we have this trim piece right here, we have the integration or the separation of the bumper into the body right here. We need to make that more modernized. And of course, looking at these things, for example, the rear diffuser, we need to work on this. I'm going to take the CT5 diffuser and the exhaust right here and add that onto these proportions. I think that's going to look super cool. Then we have the taillights right here. These also obviously needs to be redesigned and modernized. So what I'm thinking right here, because we do have a pretty clear shoulder line going in the Seville right here, you can see that it stretches from the front end all the way to the back, and I think we can implement the CT5 taillights into some cool design right here that maybe goes into the bumper, and you have maybe the bumper being almost like the base of the taillights right here. And I think we can make that work. We just need to redesign some of the internals of the CT5 taillights and implement that on this design. Other than that, we have the chrome right here, as you can see around the windows. I want to make that black. Not a huge fan of chrome. Sure, you know that already. And last but definitely not least, we need to switch out these wheels and plant this beast. I want it to be a proper looking sport sedan with some beefy tires, some massive wheels, and also lower the overall body to the ground by adding some more body panels or wings or fenders, spoilers, that kind of brings down the overall design to the ground. So with that said, let's continue here in Photoshop. Let's see how this redesign is actually going to turn out. Imagine being able to sketch anything you want with pen and paper and get the proportions and perspective right every single time. That's what I teach my students inside my online course, Analog Designer Pro Pack. You learn everything from what basic tools to use in your sketching, how to get the perspective right using my unique cloud sketching technique, and how to nail the proportions of your car and product sketches by implementing something I call the box sliding technique. These classes have helped thousands of students all over the world quickly improve their sketching, and once you go through the course and actually take it step by step, you'll be able to see your own sketching skills shoot up to a new level. So click the link in the description or go to analogdesignerpropack.com to see everything you get access to inside, and check out the results my students are getting by implementing these techniques. And as a bonus, I'll even walk you through my 2 portfolios that got me into a master's degree in automotive design in Italy, and also landed my first job as a designer. It's priceless if you're looking to become a professional designer. So click the link below or go to analogdesignerpropack.com today to learn more. I'll see you on the inside. So as I said, when I look at the Seville STS, I think the proportions are timeless when it comes to sedans. It's a good looking design still today, and I think all that it needs are really some tweaks to the graphics, and we're gonna make this into the baddest Cadillac sedan you've ever seen, at least in my opinion. I'm excited to get started with this. So first of all, what we need to do is just clean up the surfaces. For example, today in modern car building or manufacturing, you don't have really a clear separation between the bumpers and the rest of the body. It's almost a smooth transition there. And if we look at the original Seville or the 2001, 2002 one, you have a pretty solid line or section line between those two. So I want to smooth that out and remove the graphics that we have in the side. For example, that plastic line that goes across the doors, for example, I want to remove that and have a clean surface and then add something in the bottom instead. So I want to break up this massive surface that we get if we remove those trim pieces, because it's going to look like it's too big of a surface there. It needs some sort of line to cut that up. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a line at the lower part that cuts through the doors and goes from the front through the front wheel and also into the doors, but also connects to the rear diffuser. So we have some line from the top part of the rear diffuser, and then we have that line then cutting into the rear corner of the car and into the side and also into the front. I think that's going to look really cool. And I also think that the styling of the CT5 tailpipes and the diffuser really suits this type of design, because they are squared off, the tailpipes are not round, and usually I really prefer round tailpipes, but in this case I think the squared offness of the CT5 tailpipes really fits the Seville design better than if I were to put some round tailpipes here. Now moving on to the lower part of the car, we need to bring it closer to the ground, because cars today, they sit a lot lower than they did in the early 2000s. So I think I'm going to add some spoiler, side skirt, and something that goes into the diffuser in the rear and have a connection all around the car at the very lowest part of the car. And I think that's going to suck this design better and plant it better, in addition to, of course, some really tight wheels on this thing. If we have the wrong wheels on this design, it's gonna ruin the whole thing. I think these wheels that I picked here, they suit this design. They look sporty, they look modern, and they look beefy, and definitely plants this design as well. And then looking at the rear end here, we need to work a little bit on some lines in the trunk or the deck lid itself. So I added 2 lines that goes almost parallel with the taillights to add some more of that Cadillac sharpness to the design, and that in addition to the CT5 redesign taillights that I'm adding here. I think that just looks really good as well, with the line flow now going from the shoulder line and then continues into these CT5 taillights that we have in the back. And if you look at the lower part of the taillights, they now also continues into the bumper. So we have some nice Cadillac style line flow, meaning long straight lines into sharp corners, and we can make that with a 2001 or 2002 Seville, which I think is pretty cool, because that means that Cadillac has a very strong brand identity for the past couple of decades up until today. So that's it for the redesign. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.